Donkey Ness! Mario!
Starting things off with the big M, and it's a little hard to talk about default Mario. I mean, he's looked like this shit for like 30 years or something now. But, you know, before this, it wasn't always the case. They had him in different colors, and actually, we'll see that reflected in some of his other colors in this game. But as far as this look goes, I like the Super Mario 64 era Mario. I don't know if it's just nostalgia or whatever, but he feels a little more like tenacious or something. He has a little bit more of like a edge to him or something, kind of like older Mickey Mouse. He actually had a little more of a personality, whereas nowadays he's a little more you know, of like a symbol almost than he is like a character. But you know, as far as his rendition here in Super Smash Bros. 64, I think they did him pretty well. He looks good. Oh gee whiz, I wonder what they based this color on. It is cool to see him in like weird colors like this. Usually when they depict Mario, there's always like red, white, or blue, or yellow, but not with like purple and green and shit like that. So even though they are like recognizably Wario's colors, they still look pretty good on him. I think it's the green shoes that really sell it for me as like this really oddball, strange version of Mario. And I love the like the Barney ass purple they went for on his overalls. It's very bright and almost garish, but like in a really cool way. And I like this one a ton. Root Beer Mario. This one has such a nice warmth to it. It feels really subdued in a way for a Mario color. The brown and the tan are just such nice warm shades. And the navy blue shoes are like the perfect complement to set it all together. This is like maybe his best color in my opinion. I don't know. I have seen it said that this is based on Foreman Spike from Wrecking Crew. For whoever the fuck played Wrecking Crew, I don't know, maybe Jason Graves has played it. I haven't played it, but just based on pictures and artwork of him, I could kind of see it, but I also kind of don't, so who knows? I mean, if there's a statement where somebody says that, like, hey, we based the color on that guy, then like, fuck me, I guess, but I'm a little skeptical. But regardless of that, I think this is one of the best ones, maybe even in the game. It's just so tasteful and well done, and I just like it a ton. Even though this one is just red and blue again, by inverting the colors, it just feels like a totally different animal, and I kind of prefer it to his default colors, weirdly. He just looks good in blue, and I like those hot pants, those red-ass overalls. I think this is supposed to be based on, like, his look from Mario Bros., the one where you're hitting the like, crabs and icicle guys and shit out of the pipes. Or I know he's been depicted like this on box art or like magazines like Nintendo Power and stuff back in the day, although it's not exactly the same. Regardless of what it's based on though, as a color, I think this one is excellent. One of my favorites easily. And you may not know, but Mario does have a fifth color in this game that is not normally choosable unless you're playing Team Battle, and we'll see that with some of these characters. They won't have a green or like a blue color, but for Team Battle, if you're on green team or blue team, they had to do something. And in later Smash games, they would remedy this and just make them all selectable, so even if characters didn't have the same amount of choosable colors, it didn't matter, like some would have more or less, but this one is super weird. Obviously, you know, you make him green, you want to differentiate him from Luigi, maybe keep a little bit of that Mario essence there. So the orange overalls, I guess, are to kind of evoke that. But the purple shoes, man, I don't know. Like, these are some wild colors. These are like some, like, just like going nuts with the crayons kind of colors. But I really like it. It's such a bizarre choice. I'm not sure if it's based on anything. Again, it's another really good, interesting, and just weird color, a weird depiction of Mario, something you don't see typically. I really like this one. All of Mario's colors are like good to great. Some of my favorites in the game even. And so for that, I think I'm just gonna start out and put them right in the S tier, right off the bat.
Luigi!
Good old Luigi. I always liked how they put him in purple overalls in this game. That's kind of something that like faded away with time. It just became blue like Mario's too, which I guess makes more sense. I don't know who the hell's selling purple overalls, but I liked it. It gave Luigi a little more of a different flavor to him as kind of like this off-kilter second version of Mario. But he looks pretty good in this game. You know, can't complain. This is, I believe, what, Super Mario Bros. 1 Luigi, like how it looks when you're player 2. But on 3D, on this model, this looks really cool and unique. The implication is that he has no gloves on, which makes this kind of stand out in that regard. But also, his logo being yellow and red like that is really different, and it really pops against the white hat. And the white in general really just pops, and that's an excellent shade of green. Plays really well with the kind of yellower-ish color they went for on his like skin and stuff. And overall, it just, I don't know, it's like one of his best colors. And again, maybe one of the better ones in the game. I like this one a lot. I don't know what it is, but something about the color of his overalls makes him look like dress slacks with like overall straps on to me. Not that it makes this look bad at all. In fact, this is actually a great color. I like the cyan and black combo. It's really sharp and it provides a really nice contrast. There's something very collected and streamlined or something about this look for Luigi. He looks efficient. I don't know. The choice to make the L on his hat a darker blue was a good one too. It really stands out, and it kind of gives your eyes somewhere to like naturally gravitate to. Overall, the balance of colors on this one's good. It's just really good. It's excellent. We got Cinnamon Gum Luigi. You know, just like the Mario green color, this one, you do Luigi red, you want to kind of separate him from Mario. And I think by making him primarily pink, that was a great way to keep kind of the like aloof nature of Luigi sort of present in this red color. And it seems to fit him very well, you know? I like that the L matches his overalls too on this color. That's kind of a unique little tidbit to it. But, you know, nonetheless, this is another really great color. I like this pink and red. It's a bold choice for a bold guy. Even though Luigi has one less color than Mario, I really like all his options. I think they're all good to great, just like Mario. And at first I thought maybe I would put him in A, but looking over them again, I think he's S tier. Putting him in there.
Donkey Kong!
I gotta admit, I kind of miss this design. I think the new one's fine. I don't know. I don't really feel one way or the other, I guess, but I do like this old dumbass-looking version of him. He had a charming kind of mischievous stupidity to him, but rendered in his polygonal form here, he looks pretty nice. They've chosen nice warm colors for his fur and his skin, and he pops off the background for the most part pretty well just because of that. He's pretty vibrant for a guy that's mostly brown and tan. Overall, you know, decent default color. This dark kind of grayish black fur color is kind of unique in this game in that a lot of the alternate colors tend to trend towards like a vibrant kind of palette. You don't have a lot of darker ones. There are a few, but this is one of them, and it kind of stands out because of that. And it just looks good on him. I mean, gorillas in real life are kind of this color, so it would make sense to give him something kind of inspired by that. And it looks really cool on him. It kind of is better than the default, I think. No, it is. I think this is better. This is a good one. Probably, maybe his best? I don't know. With the red color, they could have sat back and gone for like a more burgundy or like orangish kind of color that would approximate something like fur could actually be, but they just said fuck that and they went hot, vibrant red, which is really interesting to see on Donkey Kong. They've also changed his skin tone to a kind of a lighter, a little more like warmer, yellowier kind of color, and that really pops nicely against that really like crisp red. I like this one a lot, even though it's kind of strange. It almost feels like Hyper Donkey Kong or something. It's like some crazy version of him that's all powered up. It's not my favorite, but I think it's pretty decent. Blue Donkey Kong, however, I'm a little more keen on. I'm not sure why exactly, but something about him in blue just looks good to me. They've gone with a really nice darker navy shade, that might be part of it. But also, for his skin tone, they've gone for slightly more like blue-ish colors. It's a little hard to see until you see them all together, but he's a little more, almost like there's a hint of like purple or something in there. But of course, the red tie really stands out nicely against this kind of cooler tone on him. And I don't know, he looks fucking cool in blue. I think this, maybe this is his best one. I don't know. And just like Mario, Donkey Kong also has an exclusive green team color, and it's a real shame you can't pick this one because it's pretty weird and interesting. They've made his skin green too, which is unique amongst all his colors. None of them really do that, and it kind of just makes him feel like an alien or something. Like this is Space DK. You'd see him in Mario Party or some shit. You go to Space World and he'd sell you a star for 20 coins or whatever. I've seen it said that this is supposed to look like how the Game Boy Donkey Kong Country games look, how the screen is green, and that's kind of what this is a reference to. I'm skeptical about that, though. I think they just needed a green color, and they greened him up, and it happened to look pretty interesting. All of Donkey Kong's colors are pretty decent, some of them are even pretty good, but nothing, really stands out or leaps out of the pack as something extra special or anything like that. So I think I'm comfortable just sticking him in B tier. He's just pretty good, is all.
Link!
Oh boy, it's everybody's favorite twink, Stink. I gotta admit something. I'm probably gonna get crucified, but I don't like Ocarina of Time. But I do like how Link looks in those games, and I do have kind of nostalgia for that era of Zelda, I guess, just because of, being a kid during it, but also, too, from Smash Bros. Say what you will about Ocarina or those games or whatever, but this is a excellent design, a good redesign. He was like a doofy little elf guy in the past, and they made him into a cool anime, like, warrior dude. And it's a great costume. The green being central to his tunic and his hat gives you good center to focus on, and then I like the white tunic, or like jerkin, or whatever the fuck that is underneath. And the brown they've used on his gloves and boots has just a hint of red, so it pops really nicely against the green. Equipment being blue is just a nice complement too. It's just balanced very well. Link looks great. I see why people always want this look to come back. He does look great. Oh my god, it's the Goron tunic! Is that what this thing's called? So you don't get burned going up the mountain? Now, I've actually always liked the shade of red they went with on this. It's very dark, which is cool. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it's similar to the brown of his gloves and boots, and you lose a lot of that contrast that the green had, which is unfortunate, but it is such a nice, cool shade of red that does kind of make up for it a little bit, and you do feel pretty cool when you get it in the game. Like, you've been looking at this green motherfucker for hours, and now he's like this cool, dark shade of red, So, considering all that, I guess, in this game, I think I like it a little less than the default green, but it's still by no means a bad color. Oh, don't tell me. This is the Zoran tunic? Or Zora tunic? What the fish guys? Whatever. It's a great shade of blue. I really like how, it's almost like a really, just standard-ass shade of blue, but it's like a notch below that. It's just a little darker than, your standard, preschool-ass blue. And against all the other colors on Link, they're much more muted and, kind of, I don't want to say realistic, because, look at this polygonal mess. His hair is a triangle, but, it's got a little more grime and grit, and then you have just this clean, nice blue tunic shining through, and it's still a different enough shade to stand apart from his shield and sword. I don't know, I think I like it better than the green. This shit's pretty good. This one is the best. There's no contest. This one is leagues above the other colors. When you look at it, you might think oh, that's the white costume, he's wearing white. But really, it's like this lavender kind of color, and then there's a kind of more blue-purple in the shading parts of his tunic. And it just looks so good. It feels magical or mystical or something. It makes him seem really powerful in a weird way. It's like enlightened Link or something like that. And I just like how it looks. I think it's easily his best color. Link, he's got all decent to good stuff, and so I think that lands him in B for me. Pretty solid.
Samus!
I've always thought that Samus was one of Nintendo's best designed characters visually. She's got such a cool take on kind of like a Space Marine sort of look that could be generic, and you've seen a million generic power armor suit type guys. For one thing, the spread of colors on her is very unique and recognizable. The red kind of chest and helmet, and then the yellow inner thigh and abdomen area, and then it's all surrounded by that construction orange, which is all just so vibrant and strange for something kind of science fiction-y like this, but it's really cool. I really like Default Samus. I love this this balance of colors. The green on the visor, you know, we're gonna look at some color theory. Red and green are opposites. They really pop against each other, and it gives you a nice focal point where her face would be, even though her face is a helmet. And then from there, I feel like the colors kind of radiate out from there, from that central kind of like helmet and chest area. It's perfect, I think. I am not a Metroid guy. I have never played any of them. Not for lack of interest, I just never have. But I'm sure these are references to suits she's worn, but I don't know. As colors, though, I've always thought this pink one was really nice, too. They all kind of keep that same red and yellow center thing, which, you know, keeps her instantly recognizable as Samus, for one. But also, it's just interesting to see all this, these colors paired with other things, and I think swapping the orange for pink is a really cool choice, and softening up her appearance a little bit by giving her a blue visor instead kind of complements the pink color scheme. This is kind of a maybe softer, more like speedy looking version of Samus in a way. I really like this shade of pink, and I think, again, this is an excellent color. This is one of my favorite picks. I love this really dark burgundy they've gone with. It feels like really like dark sci-fi, like industrial. You can picture her in like the alien spaceship, you know, like a dimly lit like cargo freighter or something, like fighting aliens and shit. They've even darkened up the yellow and the red, which is cool. It just feels like a grittier, kind of more down-to-earth, I guess, version of Samus. And I love that instead of going just straight gray, they've just added a hint of kind of maroonish red to it. And it fits her perfectly. It's a really cool look. Again, this one's great. This one is easily my favorite. I love seeing her in green. I like that whenever, you know, somebody can use red and green together and it doesn't feel like Christmas. And I think it actually looks really great here. The yellow being swapped for more of a lime green really helps flesh out the kind of look and set it apart from some of her other colors. And I don't know, it's just nice seeing her in this color. She just looks really great. I'm not sure if it's based on anything, but regardless, it's my favorite. And Samus does have an exclusive color to the blue team, and it's a real shame you can't pick this one, because I like this one a ton too. It's pretty much the same as the default as far as the red, yellow, and the visor go, but now that the orange has been replaced by this purpley sort of blue color, it's completely changed how the whole thing feels. You now have this nice contrast with the yellow, and even the red looks really slick against this kind of purple color. It makes her feel like this is like dark matter Samus or something. Like this is some kind of suit powered by, I don't know, black hole sauce or some shit. It's, again, I feel like a parrot or something, but this shit is excellent. Another excellent color. And so, probably to no one's surprise, Samus is going to be joining the Mario Brothers up in the S tier.
Captain Falcon!
When I was a kid, I thought Captain Falcon was like the coolest guy ever. And I still do. From what I can gather, him and all the other characters in F-Zero X, and maybe even the original SNES one, were based on Western comics. And you could definitely tell when you look at the artwork, at least in X, and like from around that era. Captain Falcon himself is like a sort of twist on the superhero color palette, where you got red, yellow, and blue. Now we've sort of got like an orange, yellow, and purple thing, and there's some red in there too. Again, like Samus, I love how the colors are spread out across Captain Falcon. Having his helmet be red is the central focal point. His black, like, weird domino mask thing underneath it is really, it's really makes his eyes just instantly stand out and pop. Is the darkest part of his entire costume. And then from there, you know, the same thing like Samus, you have the yellow and orange kind of accents on the boots and the gloves and around his collar. And just a hint of green on his belt to sort of add something cool in there to sort of resonate with that purple. And he looks great. I love his big goofy shoulder pad. It's very 90s, very extreme and cool. Is there anything more emblematic of Smash Brothers than Captain Falcon? You know, maybe Fox, but everybody knows this guy. And his default is great. I can't hide my love for this costume. It is, he's like a biker or something now. He's all in black leather and it's gray. And normally this is the kind of color scheme I don't like. I don't like when they take a lot of color away and replace it with just blacks and grays, because a lot of times costumes like that are just kind of, they can be very visually striking, or they could be really bland and just kind of monochromatic. But on Captain Falcon, he just looks so goddamn cool. They've darkened his helmet to this kind of burgundy color, and it's like the only color on his entire costume. He looks like Judge Dredd or something. I don't know. He just looks cool as shit. The Wikipedia says it's based on this Japanese F-Zero commercial, and maybe that's true, maybe not. I don't know. But it really doesn't matter, because this is a super fucking good skin. Fun little fact, a little piece of trivia about it. This is the only color he has where his little neck part is like an orangey color. On all the rest of them, it's like a grayish black color. So that gives it a little bit of individuality as well, for what that's worth, I guess. This one is so good too. This one's actually based on another F-Zero character who is an evil clone of Captain Falcon called Blood Falcon, I guess because they made him with Captain Falcon's blood. Regardless though, he doesn't look exactly the same as how Blood Falcon does. They've kind of done a little tweak to some of the things here to kind of make it still original. It's more of like an inspired look, but as far as having a red color, it would have just made sense to make him like a straight red. I mean, he's like a space race car guy. Red is color you commonly see in racing, so it would have worked, but instead they've gone for this kind of magenta-y sort of thing, and they've gone with this nice kind of grayish lavender and this grayish blue, and those cool kind of subtle purple and blue tones bounce off the magenta so well, and all the parts of them are very distinct and stand out, and they just come together to form a really unique look and another really cool look. This one again is really, really good. And this one is maybe his most famous one. I feel like this is like the meme skin or whatever, but I believe it's actually based on Jodie Summer, is that her name? The pilot of the White Cat in the F-Zero games. She wears a white and pink outfit kind of like this. But as far as it on Captain Falcon, again, I really like this. It makes him feel almost like a speed racer or something. The white is such a great choice for his bodysuit. Maybe Evel Knievel, it gives kind of like that sort of energy to it. And then having this sort of dark reddish pink and then a nice lighter pink on his helmet, it just is a really good highlight color to pair with the kind of more white and gray bodysuit. And even his belt is kind of gray. So you have this kind of stark contrast between these really vibrant colors and almost no color. And it comes together to make a really bold and memorable color for him. It's another really fucking good one. Captain Falcon gets special privileges in this game in that he has not only one but two team exclusive colors, and it's a real shame you can't pick this one because it's easily the more interesting of the two, I think. It's really strange to see him in secondary colors kind of like this green. I mean, I guess yellow's primary, but as far as the superhero kind of biker race car NASCAR pilot look goes, putting him in green, yellow, and gray is really out there in a way, but it totally works. The green reminds me of like a Simpsons military uniform. It's like a little brighter and more heightened than the actual kind of olive drab color they would use. And to put this really nice like light gray and this really just like bright yellow with it, it just pairs so well. And weirdly reminds me of NASCAR, although I don't know if there's a specific car that is like this, but I could see these colors on a NASCAR car, easy peasy. It's a really, really good skin, and fortunately later games actually let you pick this one. It's one of my favorites easily. This blue one isn't too different from the default, but it is nice to see what a more straight version of the idea would look like. Instead of the kind of muted purple, now we just have a crisp blue, and it feels like even the oranges and the yellow and the red are a little more primary. Just like the purple, this looks really, really good on him. It's not super different, so I kind of see why they just tossed it in as a blue team color and didn't bother including it as a selectable one, although again, like the green one, later games would let you pick this one. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I'm not as excited by it as I am any of the others, so it's probably the least interesting of them all for me, but that's not saying it's bad. It's just like, compared to the others, it's a little lackluster. Well, everything Captain Falcon has is great. They're all super good colors, and so obviously he's going in S as well.
Ness!
I think like a lot of people, as a kid, when you unlock Ness, you're like, who the fuck is this? I think I thought he was like a Pokemon character or something. As far as his colors go, I really like the soft kind of yellow and purple thing and the little bits of red going on. I think it's a perfect color scheme for sort of a self-insert little kid protagonist, which is what Earthbound and Mother are kind of supposed to be about. And I think in Smash 64, he's rendered nicely. His colors are nice and vibrant. They really pop. Obviously, you know, purple and yellow, nice opposite colors. And they've chosen great shades here. I think his default is pretty good. This is Bumblebee Ness. I'm not sure if this is based on anything from the games he's from, but as a color, it's my favorite. I always pick this one when I'm messing around with Ness. The high contrast between the yellow and black always looks good. Here it's no exception. And it just looks really sharp and cool. I don't know, makes him a little cooler than just default Ness. This is a Ness with a little more edge. I like it. This might be the most Player 2 looking color in the entire game. You've replaced the red with a blue, which is a classic hallmark of Player 2 colors, and instead of purple, they've gone with sort of a more magenta color, which is like a slight variation on the default. But overall, it all comes together to make a very different looking color, and I think it's really strong, and I might even like it more than the default, just for that magenta color. That's a really nice shade. Green and orange is a kind of strange color combo, but I find myself liking it most of the time. Here's no exception. I think these are really good shades. You have like a really just kind of construction-y orange here, but the green is a little more subdued. It's a little darker, a nice, almost forest by way of N64, so more of a stylized, maybe like Mario 64 bush kind of green. And the yellow, it's subtle, but they've changed it to just kind of a light, very pale green, and it's perfect. It balances out the colors between his hat and his shoes really well. And this is just a really interesting color. I like this one a ton too. I don't have much personal experience with Ness as a character outside of Smash Bros, but as the weird like shithead that he is in this game, I do like his thing. I like his weird jump and I like all that. And his colors I like too. I think they're all fairly solid and actually pretty good all around the board. So I think I'm gonna put him in A tier.
Yoshi!
Yoshi is a character I've grown to like less and less over time. Like, as a kid, I always picked him in Mario Kart and shit, but now as an adult, I'm like, fuck this weird asshole. Nah, not really. I love him in Yoshi's Island. That might be the best depiction of him ever, but here in Smash, his default green is maybe a little too vibrant for me. The red, too. I mean, I know that's kind of what the style of the game is. All the characters are very vibrant, but something about these shades aren't my favorite. Oh, now this is a color. That is a nice wine red on Yoshi there, and the purple boots are perfect. I love kind of like fruity sort of fruit salad flavor to this color. That's what it's given me. Grapes and watermelons, which fits perfectly. That's all they do. They eat fruits all the time. But this is a great color. I like this red a lot. This kind of magenta-y red. I think it's got to be the purple shoes, you know? You put purple shoes on any Yoshi, and I'm like, oh, okay, what do we got here? I mean, I do like cyan. I think that's a really nice color. Cyan and purple, classic combo. It's that, like, fucking soda cup thing everybody likes to use or did, like, 5 to 10 years ago. But on Yoshi, this is one you see. I mean, most of these colors appear in a lot of games where you could play as Yoshi, like Mario Golf, Yoshi's Story, Yoshi's Island. You see them in these colors, but, you know, as having ones you could pick, I like the cyan and purple quite a bit. Yellow Yoshi is a respectable Yoshi for sure. It's not going to be my first pick, you know, if you got a bunch of Yoshis in front of me, but it's definitely one I like. I mean, you associate yellow with sunshine and happiness and stuff, and that fits Yoshi pretty well, and I think the green shoes are a great compliment. Obviously, they contrast with the red, and as little accessories to his, like, mostly yellow color. They're pretty nice. It's not my favorite color, but it's definitely not bad by any means. Something completely unique to Yoshi is that he has 2 extra skins that aren't tied to team colors at all, and they're just completely unselectable. They only show up when you're playing the one-player adventure mode and you fight the Yoshi team. Sometimes this color and the next one will appear as CPU characters. So they're not really selectable, but what the fuck, they're in the game, so let's talk about them. This pink one here, it's a little darker than you might expect for Yoshi. Usually when they depict him as pink, it's a little more bright, but there's nothing wrong with that. It kind of reminds me of like a raspberry popsicle or something. It's got a little bit of subtlety to it. It's not so vibrant. And the bright yellow shoes are a nice choice. I think pink and yellow pair well together. But overall, I don't feel particularly anything too strong about this color. Like, it's just decent, you know? Nothing too special, but nothing bad necessarily. You know, the purple shoes brought me in again, and I gotta say, these are probably the best purple shoes of the bunch. They've chosen such a nice reddish kind of purple, very vibrant, and it stands out well against this very navy, almost kind of purplish blue. Midnight Yoshi is kind of what this is, and this is such a great color that I wouldn't be sad if it replaced literally any of his selectable colors. I think it's better than any of them. In fact, it's my favorite color. It's a shame that you can't play as it. Yoshi does have a lot of variety on offer here, although 2 of his colors being unselectable does kind of hurt that, especially since one of them is like my favorite color, although I won't hold that against him. That said, even with the variety, all these colors are just totally fine to me. I'm not, none of them move the needle, none of them step on the gas or anything for me, so I think I'm just going to put them in C tier. It's all very acceptable, very solid choices for the most part, but nothing that stands out as terribly unique or special.
Kirby!
Kirby is like pencil eraser pink, and I think that's kind of the perfect color for him as this sort of simpler platformer kind of mascot. He's a little softer and more cute, and I think the pink color scheme is a large part of why he is iconic and memorable. And the red shoes and blush on his face is a great secondary color, complements the pink well, and red and pink, you immediately think of Kirby. So, you know, what else is there to say? That all said, you give me the choice between pink and yellow Kirby, I'm picking yellow every time. I really like him in yellow. Again, like I said with Yoshi, it evokes sunshine and happiness and stuff like that, which also fits Kirby perfectly. But I also like that they've taken the red shoes and they've made them orange. I think yellow and orange look really nice together, and the shades they've chosen are really good. He almost looks like golden to a degree, and the orange on his shoes is just a nice kind of burnt, a little subdued color. It's not so vibrant like some of the other oranges in the game, and together it looks really solid. This is my personal favorite Kirby color. As a child, I would always play this color. I played a lot of Kirby, but it looks really nice. It's the same principle as his default, where you have like pink and red, but now you have this nice light sort of cyan and this nice dark blue. And it just looks really solid on Kirby. I'm pretty sure this is based on like an ice power, and in fact I think all these correlate with power-ups he's had, or like different Kirby's, which, what the fuck is up with that? In Kirby's Air Ride, all those different colored Kirbys, are those different characters, or are they all just Kirby? Or like that game where, the Game Boy one, where there's like a bunch of different colored Kirbys running around, it's co-op, there's mirrors and shit. Are they meant to be members of the same species or something? I don't know. I don't know if it's explained, but regardless, this is an excellent color. Red Kirby is definitely cool. It's a choice I wouldn't not want to have, but it's not one I'd be making often. I think it's just okay. I don't hate that his feet are kind of a brown color. I think that's interesting, but I wish they did something with his cheeks a little different. That sounds fucking crazy. The little cheeks on his face, goddammit, they're just, the pink color is way too close to the red, so they kind of are lost in there. It's okay. And then Kirby 2 has a green team color that's only accessible in Team Battle, and it looks pretty good, although I sort of wish that they made the greens a little more different. They're okay, but this does feel a little thrown together, like a more teal for the feet, or maybe a much darker green would have looked a little cooler, I think. Or if they went with like a much paler green for his like body. It's just a little too monochromatic for my tastes, so it's nothing bad, but it's, you know, it just does the job of being green team. It doesn't really stand out other than that, I don't think. And yeah, I think kind of like Yoshi, while there is a lot of variety on offer with Kirby, it's all just fairly, okay. I mean, I really do like the blue one, but as far as the others go, they're just serviceable to decent, I think. And I would want to put them in like low B or high C, but since it's not split like that, I think I'm just going to file them away in C and move on.
Fox!
I really like Fox's design. I think they nailed the sort of Star Wars rebel pilot kind of space cowboy kind of look that he's supposed to embody, and the olives and the tans and greens and browns, they all look really good together. The nice light gray too. And you know, as far as his spot on this roster, he kind of occupies a really unique color palette in that regard. Nobody quite has a color profile like this. So for that too, I appreciate it. It's a really good color. I'm not sure if his colors are meant to be based on like the other pilots in Star Fox, like Peppy and Slippy and those guys, or if they're based on something else entirely. But I will say they got really creative with all the color choices on him, and I really like all of them. The red and the yellow boots is such a good pairing, and then they always get so cheeky with the little like scarf thing on his neck. Like this time it's purple, but it's just the perfect color to, you know, kind of stand out and also tie it all together. The two shades of red they've chosen for his jacket and his bodysuit are really nice too. The jacket's almost like a vodka sauce kind of color, and then the flight suit and like pants kind of thing is like a nice dark burgundy, and it's just a really solid. Actually, no, it's better. It's an excellent red color. This is great. This one is such a nice collection of blues and purples. It just all looks so great together. You have this navy blue sort of like bodysuit thing that's more like earthy compared to these purples, and it kind of grounds the whole thing. And then you have this nice kind of lavender jacket, and then these super almost pinkish purple boots, which creates almost like this nice kind of gradient effect with them between the jacket and the boots. And then like all the other colors, the scarf is a nice red that pops and stands out against all these cool blues and purples, and it really just ties the whole thing together and gives you a good focal point. I mean, this is another fantastic color. And then this last one is easily my favorite. It's just such a wild collection of colors, but it completely pulls it off, and it looks flawless, I would say. The green and red are just such bold choices and shades, but I think making the bodysuit this nice, just flat black is what really ties it all together, and it makes him look just so sharp. And then you have, again, that scarf doing a lot of work with that nice kind of darker yellow, almost gold color there. It just, I don't know what it is, but the red, yellow, and green like this with this like black kind of breaking it all up, he just looks, he looks really cool. This is my go-to pick every time I pick Fox. Fox is another character that I think just hits it out of the park. 4 for 4, all great colors. And so for that, I'm putting him in S.
Pikachu!
Pikachu is probably one of the most recognizable designs of all time, so it's kind of hard to talk shit on it or anything. And, you know, I like Pikachu, especially the like little chubby version from this era. I think they cleaned him up a little over time, but he used to be a fat little sassy bitch back in his earlier days. And I think they captured that pretty good here in Smash. This is a good little polygonal rendition of the guy. As far as his alt colors go, though, I'm guessing there was some sort of problem with changing him too much, so they're all yellow, just very slight different shades of yellow. And as a compromise, they've given him a party hat, which I guess makes sense. You know, they're probably trying to keep the polygons low, so a little triangular hat was probably a good choice if they're going to add more polygons to Pikachu's model. It probably only adds a few. And it's cool, I like it. I like Pikachu in a party hat, it's very cute, but it's a little lame that we didn't get more variety. Like, would it have been so bad to just color Pikachu red? Yeah, it'd be weird as shit, but at least it would be a little more different. This time we got the blue party hat, which is, it kind of reminds me of Mickey Mouse's little magic hat with the white stars and stuff on it. And yeah, unfortunately in this one, he doesn't get different hats for every color like he does in the later games, which is a better compromise, I feel, than this. But, you know, this was the first crack at it, so, you know, what are you gonna do? It's decent. Again, I would have liked to have seen a blue-ass Pikachu. That would have been pretty cool. And then lastly, we have a little sickly green Pikachu, which maybe this is supposed to be like the shiny. I don't know what it looked like back in this era, but like a bunch of them seem to just be a weird fucked up green color. But the green party hat's pretty standout. The green and yellow is a fun combo. Again, it's hard to talk about these because they're mostly just hat changes, but probably of the three, think I like the blue one the best, but this one's a close second. Pikachu was probably the unfortunate victim of like Game Freak or whoever had the rights to him not wanting his design to be tampered with too much, and that's probably why they came up with the party hat thing to keep him that yellow color, to keep him looking the same. Even still though, and even though I do like the hats, you know, later games you get all the variety of different hats. You get goggles and like I want to say he has like a backpack maybe on one of them, little Ash Ketchum hat, you know, more fun stuff than just the same party hats. And while I do get that was probably a technical limitation, it still just feels kind of unfortunate that we didn't actually get some really different colors for Pikachu, and so I think I'm gonna put him in D.
Jigglypuff!
Okay, and finally last up is old Jigglypuff. You know, I didn't mention it for Kirby, but both her and Kirby look pretty good in this game. You know, the N64 is infamous or famous, I suppose, for low polygon counts, these big chunky 3D models, but Kirby and her are fairly round for this early on into the 3D game. I suppose that's because it's a fighting game and they were allowed more budget for the characters themselves, because the environments are a lot more simplistic. Regardless of all that, default Jigglypuff looks good. I mean, again, very iconic Pokemon. Probably not as recognizable as Pikachu, but not far behind, right? And yeah, just like Pikachu, most likely for all the same reasons, instead of changing Jigglypuff's color, she just gets a big colored bow. Which, again, I like about as much as I like the party hat. I think it's cute, it's a good addition to her, but, you know, I would have liked to have seen a red Jigglypuff. That would have looked weird. The bow is blue this time. It's a nice shade of blue for sure, and they've actually darkened up her color scheme just a little bit. It's a little more on the blue side now, which is fairly inconsequential, but I suppose it's as nice as the red, you know? It's not bad. And then yes, surprise, surprise, the last one is a green bow, but I actually like how this one complements the sort of teal color of her eyes, and I think it's the best color bow of them all. Green is just a nice color to pair with the sort of pink and teal colors that are going on Jigglypuff. And they've actually made her skin tone just a little more yellow, so, you know, for whatever that's worth, you know, there you go. And again, just like Pikachu, in later games she would get a variety of hats, you know, a little sun hat, I think she gets a Princess Peach crown, you know, cute stuff like that. And so by comparison, this does feel a little weaker, and just like Pikachu, I'll be putting her in D. And so there is our final ranking for everything. I think overall what I can say is that Smash 64 has a lot of really fucking good colors, and not too many duds. I think that might just be true of the Smash series in general. They are not afraid of vibrancy and color, and I appreciate that. So, yeah. Bye.